do 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 do. Welcome, travelers. Welcome to episode 510 of Bible Study Devotional BMX Flatland Learning. Man, these streams are weird, huh? But okay, so here's another thing why I stream as well, is because for some odd reason, I don't really know why, but in the state that I'm in, Flatland's a little bit more obscure, and there's actually only two other flat riders that are kind of into it. And I actually only have really ridden with one, and they kind of live farther away from me, right? So it's like there's not really a scene over here where I'm at. So and it's kind of funny because when I first started streaming, right? Actually, I wanted to stream at the skate park, right? Like, I legitimately, my very first stream, I was like trying to stream at the skate park, but I don't have the right internet. And, at the skate park, I like the vibes at the skate park, man. Skate parks always bring good vibes. I mean, unless, sometimes there's some sketchy stuff that goes on, people stealing things or something, But other than that, it's always like there's a good camaraderie of just energy, of just pumping somebody up, or just like, going for it, right? And I like that camaraderie energy, right? And the thing about it is that with Flatland, especially like getting into Flatland and trying to learn Flatland, some of these tricks have been taking an extreme amount of time. Like it's actually pretty ridiculous now, like how long some of these tricks have been taking me. And so I think like streaming in some sense, it kind of gives me that sense that, I don't know, it gives me a bit more some sort of strange motivation. and the weird thing is it's like not only with the BMX bike, but this is actually happening with the Word too. And then the other weird thing is there's more believers on Twitch than there is even BMX riders or even skateboarders. So it's like, I don't know, it's odd, right? But the believers out there, you guys that stream and you guys do your Bible devotionals and studies and stuff, and you guys are inspiring. So shout outs to you guys, and you guys inspired me too to even do it. Even though it's kind of awkward. I think that's the weird thing, right? It's just, but it's actually very interesting seeing it, right? Because it's interesting seeing people trying to at least attempt to put God first, or stuff like that, or try to give God your all, or try to glorify God in what you're doing. And I find that very interesting, right? I know there's a lot of controversy, and that's the other thing that makes these Bible study things very almost very cringy and awkward feeling, right? But at this point, man, it's like we've dived in so deep into the Word now that it's almost like, and the thing is I also, I did kind of grow up in the church in some degree, right? And I go to church camp when I was younger. I never really believed it, right? It's so weird, growing up in the church, and then you're like this little kid, and you don't even really know what these people are even talking about. You're just like, all right. Until later on, you're just like, what in the world, bro? It's just strange. And then I think the weird thing about the faith is you start meeting other believers, right? You start meeting other believers, and it's sometimes I wonder, is did I meet this person that's a believer for a reason, right? Or even take for example the Flatland stuff, right? There's been some believers that I met doing Flatland. I legitimately got inspired by their tricks. Literally, what the weirdest thing is, I got inspired by some believers that rode Flatland, and they totally inspired me to learn some of these tricks that have taken an extreme amount of time, right? Take for example the switch with stick beat, no hander, right? Man, I still find it very strange that these two believers would do this trick, and I just thought it was so weird because it almost looked like a cross to me, right? And, I think if there was any other case where it was they did this trick and they didn't really like mention God or anything, I'd be like, okay, well, they're just doing that trick, right? But these two flat riders, man, they both did this trick, and they both promoted like God in their edits and stuff. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, that's just super like that's just a strange coincidence, right? That they'd both do the same trick. And so be it, that was the trick that actually got me like literally like looking deeper into like not only scripture but just like into flatland and stuff. And I guess maybe the Bible study we get into is like how God maybe like guides or leads us, right? Because there's that whole thing about like Psalms 37:8 is that, I always bring that verse up, but it's such a trippy verse. Just thinking that God is like guiding us, He's like establishing us. Like it's Psalms. Oh no, it's Psalms 37:23. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way. Right? Isn't that weird, huh? Psalms 37 is a very interesting psalm, huh? Because there's even this part in it that can be taken out of context, but I think, let's read it. Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your hearts. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him and He will act. Now, see, I think verse 4 is one that gets taken out of context a lot. I mean, I've heard this one getting taken context out of a lot, right? Because I think, it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart, right? Well, you think, oh, well, if I just do this, then God's just going to give me all these things, right? Well, the thing is that it's like, what is His heart, though, right? Like, what is delighting? Like, I guess that's the whole stipulation, is what is delighting ourselves in the Lord, right? What is like, and what does what is the Lord will of us, right? Well, it is in His Word, right? So the more we get deeper into His Word, the more we start learning more of the will of God, right? And the will of God is pretty vast, but in some cases it's pretty blunt, right? Like, so, it's kind of interesting, like reading so many of these commentaries, especially some of the older commentaries. Sometimes like the verses are just so blunt and just like boom, like there it is. And then you'll read some of these commentaries and they go so deep into it, right? And they'll just like combo it. It's very interesting. I think there's another one. In terms of this one, let's see here. I think there's a proverb somewhere in here. Because sometimes I wonder, like once you get, I guess maybe within the fold of belief, of the faith, right? Sometimes I wonder if there's that whole aspect of how God maybe guides us and leads us, right? Because I think there's many instances where I've observed personally where there's so many instances, especially in our modern society, where like, people really don't need God anymore, right? It's like, why would you even, I think most people, like as an outsider looking in, right? I think most people would be like, well, why do you even need God in the first place, right? Like, what is this, like, why do you want to get into it, right? And it reminds me of these Proverbs, so maybe we'll do a Bible study on these Proverbs as well. Let's see here. Let me see if the stream's even working. Is the stream even working? I think it is. Hopefully it is. Let's see here. Two things I ask of you, deny them not to me before I die. Remove far from me falsehood and lying. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is needful for me. Right, I'm going to underline that right there. I think that's very interesting right there, right? Feed me the food that is needful for me. Lest I be full and deny and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of God. I think so. So I wonder what people think about this, right? This is Proverbs 37:7-9, right? And it's interesting thinking about that, right? Because it seems like this is in the words of somebody that's within the faith, right? And he's like saying like God is providing for him these things, but it's also like, is there this ebb and flow of almost like if there's too much of a lack, someone could stray away from God? or if you get too much and become spoiled in some degree, that you just go, oh, well, I don't even need God anymore, right? Because I think that's something that's strange. And you know what's also strange, thinking about it a lot of times, right? In terms of like the providence of God. I guess that's another thing we could get into today, right? The providence of God, the God's provision, right? Because in a lot of the Old Testament stories, I mean, these people were just living out in the wilderness, man. So I don't really know if there was money or something like that, but some of these prophets and stuff, bro, they were living out in the wilderness, man. Like even Elijah, dude, he was getting fed by ravens, man. Let's even. Do I still have? Let's see here. I had that raven claw somewhere up in here. I thought I did anyway. I mean, you know, this is why I have this. So I know this is a strange little. I consider it an artifact at this point, but it was weird, right? Because here I'll put a little light on this thing, and just because I brought up Elijah, right? I love the story of Elijah getting fed by ravens and stuff like that. Well, what was weird is when I was living in my car in Long Beach, right, where my faith really started to really blossom, I think, is in Long Beach, living in my car, right, meeting all these other believers, really just observing humanity on my bike, literally on my bike, just traveling around the city, seeing the rich and the poor, and just seeing everything in between. It was wild, man. It was such a strange, mysterious time in the faith, man. It really was. And I met so many mysterious believers, man. There's some mysterious believers out there where like you'll be like, what in the world? What did you just say, bro? Like, and it's just so strange, man. It's just so weird anyway, but yeah, it's pretty awesome though. It's very peculiar at times, but there was this point where I was riding my bike, right? I was riding my bike, and on the sidewalk, right, like I saw this dead raven. Now I know it probably was maybe not a sign from God. I don't really know, right? But I'll be completely honest. I have never seen a dead raven in my entire life, right? Like never in my entire life have I even seen a full-on dead raven right in front of me, right? Like, and I passed by, I was like, oh man, that's a dead raven, right? I was like, that's strange, right? And the first thing that came up in my mind was I was like, this raven is just going to get thrown in the trash can, and it is literally going to rot away. A raven is literally going to get rotted away. And so I'm hovering, I'm literally on this bike right here. I literally was riding this exact same frame right here. I didn't have pegs. It was weird. I had the straight cable. It was like more of like a park setup. But what was weird is I was hovering over this raven, right? Just observing it. And it was just strange because, like, if you look at a raven up close, it looks like they're all black, right? But the thing is if you look closer at them, they have, like, these tones of, like, purple. Like, there's, like, a strange, like, purple, bluish tinge to their feathers and stuff, which you don't really notice when you look at them from far away, right? They just look like these just complete black birds, right? But the thing is, when you get up closer to them, like, they have, like, this weird, like sheen to their feathers and stuff that it's like a purple bluish color. And I was like, what in the world? And like it was odd because I had another BMX buddy that lived in Long Beach, and what was strange is like he showed me his room, right? And like he had like this eagle talon, right? And he was like, yeah, I found a dead eagle, and I cut off the talon of it, right? And he has it saved. And for some reason, I remember that. And, like, at the time when I saw this dead raven, I was like, what in the world, bro? Because, like, I haven't seen a dead eagle. Like, I've seen some dead... I think I might have seen a... Well, there was actually a time when I was a little kid and I rehabilitated a hummingbird. It was like a hummingbird. I think it lost energy or something. But the only time I've really seen, like, a full-on dead bird was the first bird I really saw that was dead. Oh, I guess no. I did see, like, a yellow finch one time as well. I did see a yellow finch, but I guess the second bird that I legitimately found, like, just dead on the street was a raven. And it was just so weird, right? And it was just, I mean, I think it's weird just because of reading about Elijah and stuff like this, right? And what was weird is, like, I was kind of far away from my car, right? And what was odd is, like, I was like, dude, I need to harvest that talon, man, right? This talon right here. Like, literally, this is the talon that I harvested. I've showed it previously on streams and stuff like that, but like, dude, if you look at this thing, like, it is so crazy, and and this is why I keep this thing, is because I mean, I know some people might think it's just really weird. By the way, I did sanitize this thing. Let's see, do I have my sanitizer? Oh, I don't have the sanitizer thing. Oh wait, I do have it right here. So here's another actually tip if you end up homeless or living out in your car or doing the van life thing or something, right? This thing right here can really help you. This is actually a spray bottle, like $1 spray bottle from Walmart, and you can fill it with rubbing alcohol. There's actually rubbing alcohol in here. Now, as I went deeper into it, there's actually something with Les Stroud, you know, the guy that did Survivor Man. He actually has a video somewhere on YouTube, and he says that he would do this. And the thing is that you can sanitize things very quickly, right? Like you can sanitize, you know, like take this pedal for example. You know, it's like imagine you just find like a pedal on the ground, so you'd be like, okay, well actually maybe you kind of go like that, you know, and you could kind of like sanitize it before you pick it up and stuff. The other good thing about this is that, say if you're homeless or living in your car or something like that, this thing can really, I mean, for my own ease of mind, you know, every time I went to a public restroom, man, I'm just like spraying the handle, I'm like spraying everything down, you know, because I don't know who's been in there and stuff like that, and I like to think that, you know, this could, you know, I mean, I don't really know how much rubbing alcohol could kill all sorts of bacteria and germs and stuff like that, but it eases my mind sometimes. I'm like, okay, well, I tried to at least sanitize it, right? And the thing is that when I harvested this raven talon, I literally, you know, I sanitized it, you know, because I'm pretty sure that this, I think ravens are known to be scavengers, right? So, you know, it's probably picked up a bunch of trash, who knows what it's really picked up, honestly. But I have its talon now, which is always weird. And you know what's weird? Just looking at this thing, it reminds me of like, do you think when Elijah was fed by ravens, do you think the ravens were carrying the sustenance in their beaks, or were they carrying it on their talons? I honestly, quite frankly, I think that the ravens were holding the food and stuff on their talons, because this thing's like petrified now. It's like literally like mummified now. It doesn't move, right? But when I first got it, it was all like movable, right? But now it's like totally unmovable. But the thing is, like, if this thing were to open, and like it would probably be like that big, man. Like it could hold a good amount. Like imagine 2 of those things, right? It could probably hold a good amount of food, right? And it's just so strange just looking at this thing up close. It's just so weird looking. Now this is a feather, not from the same raven. I actually think this might be a crow feather. I'm not sure if this is a crow feather or a raven feather, but I did find this one out. It was just blowing around. I ended up finding it, and then I put it inside the raven talon. But yeah, this is like a legitimate. It's like a legitimate raven claw right here, man. Like, and it's just so weird. It's just such a. Every time I look at this thing, bro, I just think of Elijah. And not only. Now, here's the other weird thing: is it's not only Elijah, but actually looking into ravens. There is actually a saint. I think it was when I looked up ravens and stuff like that. There is a Saint Benedict cross as well, but there is a saint that supposedly it was Saint Benedict or something like that. And as the story goes, there was actually some sort of monks or something, and they were like they were possessed by Satan or the devil or something like that, and they're actually going to go try and kill Saint Benedict. So what's weird is that now take this with a grain of salt. I haven't looked it up in a long time, but it was something that ravens are involved with. And what was strange is that something about these monks, they were demon possessed, devil possessed or something, so they were going to kill Saint Benedict, and they poisoned his cup, right? And supposedly, as the story goes, some ravens come, or one raven, I don't know if it was one raven, a bunch of ravens or something, a raven in particular, some sort of flying creature came down and spilled the cup that was actually poisoned, which is actually very strange, right? And some people think that it was God that sent, and that's the weird thing, is like, why would God use a raven, right? Because you think sometimes ravens just seem like a bird that's very almost like creepy looking, right? Like, it's like very ominous looking at ravens. Like, why would God? Maybe let's look that up. Why would God? Let's actually just look that up now. I'm actually curious. Why would God use ravens? Out of all the birds, right? Sometimes I think, man, don't you think that some eagles would have came for Elijah to give him food or something like that? But why ravens? Right? It's just odd, right? Why did God? So this is what we're gonna type in this in here today. Okay, we're gonna type in, why did God use ravens? Why did God use ravens out of all? I'm just gonna I could put out of all the birds, but we're just gonna put, why did God use ravens? Why did God use ravens? Which one should I pick? I guess we could go on Crosswalk. It is the first one that comes up. So here's a picture of a raven right there. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen a dead raven? I've only seen one, and it's weird. It's just like, I can't even just remember it, dude. I literally just remember riding my bike, and I just see the dead raven. And it's like, what in the world, bro? Like, it's just so strange, man. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like strange to me. It's probably nothing, right? It's probably just some sort of strange coincidence. But like, the weird thing, And then like, let's read this commentary, okay? Let's see. I haven't read this commentary, so let's see what it says. I was doing my Bible study on Elijah just yesterday. The story of the ravens was the focus. When Elijah was in Cherith during a time of separation and preparation, God fed him by ravens. The mystery of the ways in which our Lord works is eye-opening. In this biblical account, we can look at Elijah's provisions and be reminded of the unique ways in which God always cares for our needs. Bro, this is going so well with the Bible study that we're doing today. we were gonna go into the provisions of God, right? And it's just, I think sometimes God has some provisions for his believers that may seem very, very unorthodox. They might even just seem straight up bizarre to some people, right? But sometimes if you read up some of these stories, man, it's like, bro, like, it's like weird, like, it's just mysterious. It's straight up like very, like, it almost just seems, I'm not gonna lie, it seems like something straight out of an RPG game. Like, it's like, do you want to be involved with the story, or do you want to just like, just live about, normal, in normal society means? And sometimes normal society dampens the I don't even know what the word to use. It dampens the spirit of people sometimes, right? And people just get really hurt by it sometimes. And anyway, let's see here. What happens in the story of Elijah being fed by ravens? In 1 Kings 17, Elijah told King Ahab that the Lord was sending a drought. God led Elijah to a dry land called Cherith, east of the Jordan. 1 Kings 17:3. He tells Elijah that he will drink from the brook and ravens will give him food. 1 Kings 17:4. The amazing obedience and trust that Elijah shows comes quickly in verses 5 through 6. Time and time again, Elijah set the example of loyal obedience to God our Father. Elijah does what God said to do and goes to Cherith. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and in the evening he got water from the brook. Now here's the weird thing. What I'm wondering sometimes, we're going to have to, now I don't think I'm going to look it up today, but just thinking about this, right? So God told Elijah to go to Cherith, right? Now sometimes I wonder, what is actually a legitimate sign from God, right? Like a legitimate, like, this is God telling you something, right? Because I feel like, so here's the thing, right? So say you I'm wondering, like, can you ever take a sign the wrong way, right? Imagine like you were, imagine like you thought God told you to do something, right? And then you go and do it. Do you think God would be like, hey man, like, you took that the wrong way, that's not actually what I really meant, or anything like that? I feel like God would do that, right? Especially if it was like, say, a pivotal decision that you were making, or some sort of like bigger picture of what this decision you might even, especially like, I'm wondering that. I'm like, how would we write this question if I was to look at it? So it would be like, can you ever, maybe we'll look it up tomorrow or something. Can you ever take God's signs or his guidance or his leading the wrong way? How do you know if you're taking it the wrong way, right? Well, I think I'd like to think that God would correct you, being like, hey man, like, that actually wasn't for me, right? But I don't know, right? We're going to look that up maybe tomorrow or some other time, or I'm probably actually going to just end up forgetting about it. Well, hopefully I can remember it. So let's see here. Let's continue with this commentary. What is the context of 1 Kings 17 and Elijah being fed by ravens? This might seem like a strange story to you. Why would God provide for Elijah in this way? Why would the Lord even make him go live in an obscure, dry place? The context of 1 Kings 17 is during the rule of King Ahab and his wife Jezebel. They were absolutely evil and disobedient to the ways of the Lord. What we learn in 1 Kings 18 is that Jezebel was killing the prophets of Obadiah, was hiding them to rescue them while Elijah was in Cherith. They wanted Elijah dead and looked in all the other cities. This may have seemed like an odd location for Elijah, but God in his sovereignty was saving his life. Why does God feed Elijah? Via ravens. Our great God could have used any means to feed Elijah, but he intentionally chose ravens. See, that's what I trip out about now, right? It's like, why ravens? Why? I honestly think when I would think, like a full-on eagle, crazy looking eagle thing that, I feel like that would come and feed, Elijah or something. But why a raven out of all the birds? It's like a raven is just this creepy looking, like spooky looking bird, you see in like just a strange bird, right? Anyway, but ravens also are really smart, right? I think that's the other thing. It's something about ravens. I wonder if, there is something about ravens. I wonder what the intelligence level of a raven compared to other birds might be. I wonder if a raven's actually smarter than an eagle. I think an eagle might be smarter because they're bigger, huh? I don't really know. Let's see here. He intentionally chose ravens. If you know anything about birds, the raven is not a dependable animal. We see in the story of Noah how the raven does not return. Genesis 8:7. And I sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Priscilla Shire says it well in her Faith and Fire Elijah study. Perhaps if God had chosen doves or robins to perform this twice daily turn down service, some kind of brilliant brainiac ornithologist could come up with a scientific hypothesis describing how birds of that type might be capable of pinpointing a singular location that day after day. God, however, chose a bunch of ravens for the job, thereby dispelling rational theories. That made no sense right there. Anyway, let's read this. Many times our God does not choose to work in rational ways so that without a shadow of a doubt we can know that it had to be him. Isn't there... that reminds, just reading that right there. Many times our God does not choose to work in rational ways, so that without a shadow of a doubt we know that it had to be him. It actually reminds me of that verse of Isaiah. It's like Isaiah 43. I will give you treasures in hidden places. Something that you will know that I was that it was the Lord, or something like that. So here, this is the verse. This is the KJV, by the way. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. Isn't that so strange, man? That verse is very, very mysterious right there. And I know some because we did a Bible study on this one, right? And some of the commentaries or whatever, they went into that one proverb saying it's the glory of God to conceal things. Or no, it's Oh, which one is it? Now I gotta look it up. It's something about God concealing things, and it's the glory of kings to search them out. God to what verse is that? What verse is that? Let's see here. It's Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. Right? It's so strange thinking about that, right? So if we think about this, right, and we think about like God's provision, it's strange that like even right now, just think about the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. He's trying to establish your steps so you're delighting, as you're trying to delight in the law of the Lord, right, in the will of God. Now it's crazy to think that the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, he's going before you, and he's going to like hide these things for us to find, right? So when we find them, we'll be like, what in the like, just like, does this sound, probably sounds like I'm crazy right now, right? But like, am I reading these verses? Like, we've done a lot of Bible studies on these things, right? So it's like, it's just strange. It's just so strange to think about that. And it's so like, it's very mysterious, right? It's quite intriguing, to be honest. I mean, if that's not intriguing to you, then I don't. Okay, let's see. Let's continue with this commentary up in here. I'm getting pretty sidetracked. Okay. Maybe you were in a season of your life where you do not know what the Lord is doing. You could be questioning his provision and his ways. All the while he could be protecting you and caring for you in a unique manner, just like he did for Elijah. Right? And that's the weird thing. Sometimes I feel like maybe that strange, confusing situation that's going on in your life, maybe God has some sort of strange ultimate plan for it, right? And it's just very mysterious to think about. Back to commentary. What I love even more is that we see a similar message in the New Testament, Luke 12:24. Consider the ravens. They do not sow nor reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than birds. I didn't think about that, actually. I didn't think about that verse. It's a strange verse to think about. Okay, let's see here. Man, this is actually an interesting commentary, huh? Wait a minute, I need to see if the stream's actually working now. Hopefully I'm not just blabbering about and the stream ain't even working. Holy moly, it's already been 32 minutes. Bro, I always feel like I'm trying to do these Bible studies fast and like, how has it already been 32 minutes, bro? Oh my goodness, dude. Like, the thing is that, like, I really try and speed these Bible studies up sometimes. I'm like, I want to do a Bible study in, like, 20 minutes. It always ends up being, like, more than, like, 30 minutes every single time. Now it's at the point where I used to say 10 to 20 minutes, and I'm going to get in the bike ride. And it's like, these Bible studies take quite a bit of time sometimes. I feel like, I guess if I just read that and didn't interject anything of my own thoughts or something like that, maybe it would be way faster. But anyway, let's continue. God was having Elijah consider the ravens. Elijah had to have known that in order for him to survive, the ravens also had to survive. In order for them to eat his breakfast, God would have to take care of the birds. The Lord values the ravens, and how much more did he value Elijah? God values us just the same. We are his image bearers, his adopted children, and his chosen ones. How can we glean hope from this story? Every time I see or think of a raven now, I will never be the same. That sounds like me right now. That literally sounds like me. Every time I see a raven now, I'm like, bro, what in the world? Now get this. Now, I actually had this thought because there was this one time I had this trip, right? And I like saw all these ravens about, and it just occurred to me, right? Because there's some RPG things, right? Some RPG games, right? And it occurred to me. Now this is, just take this with a grain of salt, okay? But I think this is hilarious, right? Would you rather have a gun, right? Or would you rather have 700 ravens that you can talk to or something like that, and you can somehow, that would be crazy. Maybe not 700, maybe 70. But still, that would be a trip, man. Imagine being able to do that, being like like calling forth like 70 ravens and just being like, you know, that was the other weird thing is I did meet this one dude in Long Beach, and he like knew how to like talk to like the ravens. Like he like did like the croak, you know, like the you know, like the croak. I actually haven't seen a raven in a while. I kind of almost forgot what it sounded like, but he did the croak so good, man. Like he did the little like the little just it was just eerie, man, how he did that. Anyway, let's see here. How can we glean hope from this story? Every time that again, it'll be the same. These birds that I once considered pretty ugly, I now delight in the thought of how the Lord takes care of them and of me. Many times, it can be frustrating to have desires to do great things for God, that we miss out on the joy of the still moments. It is in those places where we gain greater intimacy with the Lord. It is there that our prayer lives increase and our faith in the Jehovah Jireh is strengthened. Denna Johnson Martin says, he had the opportunity to be ministered to by God himself, to sit quietly by the brook absorbing God's love. He had the time to see God's faithfulness, to learn to trust his heart. I was a single... Okay, let's see here. This is going into their life. I don't think we really need to read that. Okay, yeah, let's go into like... I mean, this is what... I was a single woman for most of my 20s. It was a challenge for me and my friends. We're getting... Okay, let's just read this. I was going to skip it because it kind of seemed a little weird. Okay, let's see here. I was a single woman for most of my 20s. It was a challenge for me when my friends were getting married and I felt behind. I wondered why the Lord would not bring me a husband. I had been faithful to him and loved him, but I was in Cherith, however. It was in that season of isolation that I grew tremendously in the intimacy with Christ, and my trust in him increased significantly. I learned to use that season for good and his glory. I knew that he could handle the tears and frustrations. I learned my identity was not in a relationship status with anyone but him. I know that God was not only preparing me, he was protecting me. Okay, and then it goes into like a desert season. The desert season. Oh, wow, there's a lot to this commentary. Okay, that's going into like a whole bunch of... It's kind of odd that they went into a whole bunch of stuff about marriage and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I would have not thought about that, but I guess everybody goes through their own seasons. Okay, so let's see here. What is this one? This one says, keep believing ministries. Until there... I'll read just a little bit of this. These commentaries are actually really long. Holy Toledo. Let's see here. This is on Keep Believing Ministries, by the way. I've never seen this site before, but we'll read like the first couple things. Until recently, everything I knew about ravens I learned from Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know when I first read his poem, The Raven, but it might have been in Mrs. Graves' 9th English class. All I remember about the poem is the spooky refrain, quoth the raven nevermore. And until I read about Elijah and ravens, I hadn't given those strange black birds another thought in almost 40 years. When I planned out my series on Elijah, I didn't intend to spend a whole week on the ravens. Holy moly, this dude spent an entire week on a raven. I mean, these commentaries are really long. Holy, what if we did that? Like, we just spent an entire week we're just doing Bible study. We're doing Bible study every single day, 6 days a week this week on ravens, okay? That would be crazy. I don't know if I could handle that, but okay, let's see here. Let's see. I thought about it and decided there must be something important here that we need to know. Let's take a trip into the avian world and think about the ravens that fed Elijah. We begin with a few simple facts. Ravens are large black birds, closely related to crows. The main difference being that ravens are bigger, with a wingspan that reaches 50 inches. They can be found from the Arctic to the deserts of North Africa, to the islands of the Pacific.
During flight, they perform complicated aerial acrobatics. Biologists consider them to be extremely intelligent birds, but that is not their most notable characteristic. Ravens are scavengers. They eat berries, fruit, insects, bread, and carrion, the flesh of dead animals. They sometimes kill small birds and mammals such as rabbits and rats. They are capable of a wide range of noises, including the ability to mimic human speech. What the? I did not know that. They are capable of a wide range of noises, including the ability to mimic human speech. I did not know that. What in the world? That's weird. I knew there was some bird that, like parrots and stuff that do that. I didn't know ravens did that. Okay, that's strange. Given their black coloration, their enormous wingspan, and their reputation as scavengers, it is no surprise that ravens have gained a mythic reputation. They have even given us a word that describes a person so hungry he will eat anything. Such a person is said to be ravenous. Ravens appear in the Bible in only a few places. Genesis 8:6-7 says that when the floodwaters began to recede, Noah sent out a raven in search of dry land. Although the earth was still covered with water, and the male raven of one half of the entire raven population at the time had no trouble staying alive by scavenging off the material floating on the surface of the water. If you are raven-haired, your hair is dark black. In Song of Solomon 5:11, the woman describes her beloved as having hair as dark as a raven. I don't remember that one. I don't remember that verse at all. Okay. The scavenging side of the raven appears in Proverbs 30:17, where a rebellious child will be thrown into a valley and the ravens will pick out his eyes. Instead of an honorable burial, the rebellious child becomes the food for the ravens. Isaiah prophesied that God judged Edom. It would be so deserted that only the owl and the raven would live there. Isaiah 34:11. Despite their negative image, God cares for the ravens and he feeds them. Psalms 147:9. When Jesus wanted to impress this truth upon his disciples, he told them, "Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them." Luke 12:24. Man, that's so strange just thinking about that. It's weird that the Lord would say that, huh? Out of all the birds, consider the ravens. Huh. Ravens are a strange bird, man. Ravens are a very, very strange bird. Let's see here. There is one more fact we need to consider when God gave the law to Moses. He declares the ravens were unclean birds. These are the birds you are to detest and not eat because they are detestable. The eagle, the vulture, and the black vulture, the red kite and the black kite, and the kind of raven, the horned owl, the screeched owl, the gull, any kind of hawk, the owl, the cornet, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the stork, and any kind of heron, the bat. Leviticus 11:13-19. God doesn't say why the Jews were to consider these birds unclean or detestable, and thus not to be eaten under any circumstances. Ravens may have been included because they eat dead flesh, but this much is certain. Once God declared the ravens unclean, no Jew would have anything to do with them. They were not to be eaten under any circumstances, and given their scavenging nature, that prohibition was actually a blessing to the Jews. And that brings us back to the story of Elijah, when the Lord told him to go and hide himself by the brook of Cherith on the east side of the Jordan. He also promised to send ravens to feed him. I have no doubt that the prophet was not exactly thrilled with that promise. I think that would be a strange thing, right? You being told that something was almost like an unclean animal, it's like, bro, why are you feeding me? You're not even supposed to be around. That's strange, right? It's hard enough to have to hide yourself in the desolate region. Far worse was the news that he would be fed twice a day by unclean birds. The whole thing was unusual because ravens normally care only for their own. Under no circumstances would they bring food to a man, much less do it twice a day. What should we learn from the story of Elijah and the ravens? God commanded the ravens. or God commanded, and the ravens came. In 1 Kings 17:4, the Lord declares, I have commanded the ravens to feed you there. I can only imagine Elijah sitting alone by the brook when suddenly a flock of birds approaches him. They are ravens, unclean scavenger birds. It must have been a fearsome sight to see these enormous black birds swooping in with bread and meat in their beaks. But they did not come by chance, nor did they fly from a nearby cave. God sent them. God commanded them. God directed them. And thus they came to the prophet's aid. Man, isn't that weird, dude? Sorry, this comment. I don't know if I'm going to finish this commentary. We're like not even 1/7 of the way. This commentary is long. Look at this. Holy Toledo. What in the world, bro? Oh my. How did you write so much stuff about ravens, bro? That's crazy. Anyway, my mouth is tired from talking so much or reading so much. I ain't gonna lie, so let's get back into writing, okay? Let's get into writing. I guess today's Bible study was on the ravens. And I guess we'll do, you know what, maybe I'll make this as the thumbnail. There was one that I did as a thumbnail, like this. But maybe we'll do it again. Let's see if we can get this as a thumbnail. Come on, come on. Come on, buddy. It's not focusing. There we go. Should that be the thumbnail? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shoop. Okay, let's put a stream marker right there. I guess that will be the thumbnail for the stream. Stream manager. Add stream info. Add stream marker. Boom. Thumbnail attained. Let us move forward. Let's do a card draw, I guess. I didn't even think I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get into something totally different today. Oh well. A little study about ravens, right? Sometimes God uses some unusual things to, I guess, accomplish His will, right? I'll drink some of this coffee. I started like an hour late because I had to do some stuff today, but shuffle, 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 shuffle. I do want to learn that line though. I want to do flail, half boomerang, fakey, hydrant, half hydrant, decade. Because I feel like if I can learn that, there is an infinity combo if you can keep doing it. Like the whole decade to boomerang thing. Let's cut this. Hopefully it's a cool card today. Let's cut it again. Actually, let's put this one up in here, just because I've been drawing the same cards, man. Let's put this on our Instagram. Do 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 Welcome to the card draw of the day. This is the card we have drawn. Sylvan Hierophant. I do like this card. It reminds me of a peaceful forest with flowers and butterflies and some sort of strange character. It almost looks see-through. It almost looks like they're invisible or something. Maybe they have a see-through robe. Feeding the peaceful deer in the forest. Summon Cleric. This is the card of the day. And who is this done by? Brian Durfee. In... What is that? It's not... Oh, very well, everybody. Do 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 Okie dokie. Let's turn this light on. Oops. No, that was the wrong one. Let's turn this light on. What's this over here? Oh yeah. Oh wait. We didn't do the card draw. I forgot. Alright, first card of the day. Sylvan Hierophant. Second card. Tranquil Garden. Third card. Soulmender. Fourth. Angelic Destiny. Fifth. Heavenly Blade Master. It's a gnarly looking card right there. Dual wielding 2 fire swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. Test of Faith. The Test of Faith. 7. Celestia's Sanctuary. Last card of the day. We have Elvish Visionary. I like the quote on this one. From a tiny sprout, the greatest trees grow and flourish. May the seeds of your mind be equally fruitful. Okay. And that concludes this segment of the stream. Now we will get into bicycle training. Which this is the fun part. This is the Bible studies are fun too. By the way, I'm trying to keep the Bible studies fun. For some reason, we're still going for it, man. Oh my goodness, people. Oh my. These Bible studies are awkward, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying, okay? We're trying. Okay, let's see here. Let's put some PSI in our tires. And, man, it's almost... Man, I'm really late today.
Let's put on some beats. Beats, 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 beats. Will today be the day we land a quad whip? It probably won't be, but we can try. Ah! Aye. Why is this trick so hard? What's wrong with me? You know what, there was like this track stand a decade I kind of want to learn. Track stand decade. Wait, I think this is a full beat section. that boomerang thing again. Oh, dude, that's gonna look so gnarly if I could do it. Oh, that's crazy. Break some more wedges. How do you guys do multiple whiplashes? They're impossible feeling. It's gonna hurt my wrist, man. I gotta just lean really forward. I have no idea how they're doing it. Locomotive practice. How do they land that? It's a hard thing to land. It's such a weird one. You gotta like learn how to like just scuff it a lot more. Come on. How do they do it? I can like get into it, I just don't know how to land it. I gotta like get that right pressure on my foot. You gotta get like the scuff pattern. And you can land it. I gotta do that and then grab my hands behind my back. That's the hard part. That's a pretty cool song. I dig it. Oh, that's it. That to whiplash. Oof. I mean, fire hydrant. Come on. Oh. Shoot, got caught on something. My shoelace. I think I ripped it. I guess not. I ripped it. There's something I could do from that. I think there's a combo I could get if I could land it into a combo. Tired today. I need some water. Why can't I land anything? Little monkey! We are putting our weights wrong. I feel like I'm so close to like learning that one. I'm wondering if I could just do the, just the regular hang 10. I don't think that's going down. Heck? I think this is okay, right? Yep. Dude, those dreads look gnarly. so hard. For a little bit, I was kind of getting into it. Now I kind of lost it again. I think I just gotta practice it every single day, I think. Oh my God. See, I need to find the freaking balance point. There's a balance point somewhere in here. I just don't know where it is. I just gotta keep flipping over, I think. I need to just not be scared to flip over. Oh, fudge. So I gotta lean up a little bit more. I think that you need to put some pressure on the back of your bars. I'm wondering if I could put a grip right here. I'm wondering would that I'm wondering if that would make it easy to balance it out. I gotta go faster, I think. You know what, I think maybe I should try and start... Actually, I think I need to go faster. I think I need to start the hang 5 somewhere else. I think I need to start the hang 5 right here. Start the hang 5 right here. Got the no-hander maybe right here. And then hopefully do a no-hander. I'm gonna start marking it. We're marking a new area with this tape right here. With this tape, we're going to try and mark it. I'm going to mark a spot. Because I think what's going on is I think I do the hang 5 and I'm losing speed. And I'm trying to do this at the very end. So I think if I do it more in the beginning, but if I did it, I think I'd start right over here, right? Yeah, I think right there. Let's try that little spot. Yeah, you're right. Actually, right here. Oh, that's weird. Oh, come on. Right here. Nope. Yeah, I don't know how to put this. Here again. Get into it right there. I gotta see how he's doing it. Because I keep losing speed and I'm trying to I need to keep that speed going. I think I'm gonna start hang fiving right there. Okay, let's see here. How does he do it? Where's he starting? Because I think there's a lot more that goes into this that people realize. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see. Okay. He starts right there. Okay, so it's basically he's doing it. Okay, so he's doing it straight right here, and then he does a half. So if we're thinking of it, half. Okay, so right there then. Because if he's going, how's he starting it? He starts on the far edge. So maybe right here. He starts on the far edge like this, and then goes about right there at this point. So it's like a square. At this point he takes off his hands. He makes the cars over here. And then he goes into this circle right here. Bro, it's so gnarly, dude. How are you doing that, dude? Dude's crazy. Doing it. Bro, how are they doing it? It makes no sense. It doesn't want to get in the next hang five. Maybe I need to learn hang five with my right foot. Dude, that is insane, bro. How are you doing that? Okay, so he also learned the Vader thing. Doing it. Makes no sense. And I guess I could keep practicing that Vader thing. I kind of gave up on that one. That's gnarly, bro. Oh, I see what he's doing. Huh. They freaking move their wheel like that. Oh, I did it! That was the first one I actually kind of did. Dude, I see how they're doing it now. I freaking learned a new trick. That's so weird. Dude, that unlocks the infinity hang 5. Infinity! Infinity hang 5. I see it. I see I've unlocked the code. Ah, fudge. How did I do it that one time? I need to replicate it again. Oh, I almost did it right there. Such a weird one. They do it so powerfully. I don't know how they're doing it like that. I can't keep it going. It like doesn't. I think I just need to lean forward. I need to like, you need to like lean forward with your momentum or something. I wonder if they like lean back and then like push forward to get momentum. multiple signs. Is this one copyright? It's not copyright. I need some like reggae. Maybe. This is a strange playlist. No, that one they got rid of it. Wait, what's this?
What's this one? Are these all free? Ooh, they are. Aye. What a good song. Let's save that. It's on playlist. It's a happy song.
good song. This is a good song right here, man. And you can do all sorts of weird combos up in here. So we go like this. I gotta lift. Yeah, she just played it. Oh, that's hard. You really gotta like somehow lift it up. That was a cool song, man. How do you guys do this thing? What the heck? Huh. Oh yeah, this hand.
They're bringing out a new upgrade for everything.
Yeah.
So get along with next week too.
Right. Rome should be up now. I haven't tried, but should be. Oh, how do they do it? Let me see how they're doing it. For some reason, the call cruiser seems really weird. I don't see how they're like just holding it in there. It like wants to like move. Oh, wasn't there? Oh yeah, here's this one.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Bobby Carter from Virgin TV, representing the global flatland community. I'm here to show you how to do carl cruisers. Carl cruisers are a good trick to have for your trick repertoire. First thing you want to do is figure out which side of the bike you like to be on. If you're right-handed, most people like to stay on the left side of the bike. You want to put your left foot on the front left peg, and your right foot on the left back peg. Cruise along at like a slow to medium pace. When you ride into a carl cruiser, put all your weight on the front and unweight the back wheel, and then push forward as if you're doing a rolling indo. When the back wheel lifts off the ground, you have to grab the seat really fast and remember to pull up hard on the handlebar, pulling the grip towards the seat. And at the beginning, it's going to be hard to maintain this. You're going to feel a lot of
Grip
tension in
towards.
your arm
Oh, okay.
to try to keep the whole bike stable. But once you learn how to get to the proper angle on the carl cruiser, it won't be as hard to pull back on handlebars to hold it. To ride out the carl cruiser, all you need to do is let the back wheel hit the ground, and then step on the peg with your foot, and then just roll out. Just reverse the whole process. You can also try to, if you're doing like a backwards or anything, try to ride out to the pedals actually, and then just jump from the peg, and then land with both feet on the pedals at the same time. Make sure you don't land with only one foot on the pedal, because you might back pedal and kick your shit. Won't feel good.
Sound.
So, once you get up there, you can do a lot of different things. You can roll them forward, you can roll them backwards,
that trick's gnarly. How did I do that? Bro. Yeah, you can do the hitchhiker from that one.
Carl cruisers are used by flatlanders worldwide and can be used to lake tricks like nobody's business. The possibilities are endless with this trick. If you watch any kind of videos, you'll see a lot of people using them in multiple ways, turbining, backwards, forwards, all sorts of things. So the sky's the limit. It's up to your imagination. Hands up, everyone. This is Bobby Carter from Divergent TV, representing the global flatland community. I'm here to show you how to do Carl cruisers. Carl cruisers are a good trick to have for your trick repertoire. First thing you want to do is figure out which side of the bike you like to be on. If you're right-handed, most people like to say on the left side.
Okay, let's try and learn this. That's a strange balance point. Keep doing this. Oh, I'm almost doing it. This is going to be into the new edition. We got to practice these every day. Wow, this trick's hard. That's a hard one. Carl Cruiser. Turbine. So many tricks to learn. What the heck? You can do like a Carl Cruise or like some sort of front yard thing. What the heck is that? Huh. I haven't seen that. Well, I have seen that. Trick's freaking hard. I ain't gonna learn that anytime soon. Bro, how is he doing that? Oh, he's doing it different. Oh, okay, I see, I see. He's like this. I was doing it wrong. Ooh, that's gnarly. There's so many tricks to learn. It's crazy, bro. How do these people learn all these tricks? is insane looking. Oh, he has like, that's weird. That's such a strange maneuver. He's starting like this. Dang, bro, that's gnarly, bro. How did you learn that? What the? That is so insane, bro. Well, he's not using the zero assets, so. Oh, weird. That's how he learned it. What the? It's a switchfoot scuff. Huh, I never thought about that. Dude, how do you do that? That's so weird. So he did. Okay, 5. Oh, that's gnarly. That's a crazy trick. Huh. That's like relearning an entire trick right there. Well, it's getting late. We did not land a single thing today. It's okay, we're trying to learn tricks. Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and purity. Until I come, devote yourself to public reading of Scripture, to exhortation, to teaching. Huh. Alrighty, everybody. Anybody that watches these streams, farewell. Maybe we'll do a WoW stream or something. You guys have a good one. Try your best. Have fun.